Hello, everybody.
Hi, Alan.
Hi. Didn't I just see you?
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks for the invite, Alan.
Oh, yes. Hey, Diana. How are you?
I am good. I have the little ones with me today, so I'm going to stay off camera, but I appreciate the invite. I got it in my email, so I decided to join and to learn from you a little bit. That's
Absolutely.
Okay.
We always welcome everybody to learn and join and grow your business. So definitely welcome on board. I'm probably going to give it the Zoom 5. People tend to have a tough time, but for those of you that are early, if you guys have any questions, I'll let you guys ask now. That way you can be rewarded for coming. And if I'm going to cover it later, then I will kind of tell you I'll defer. But otherwise, if there are questions that you want to now, since you guys are on time, definitely want to open the floor to you.
I have a quick question. So when you use LinkedIn and Facebook, like, do you use two different methods on how to post or what you post, I guess? And I'm sure you're going to cover that, but I was just always curious to know that.
Absolutely. Yes. And I will cover that.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a different methodology to both systems. Any other questions? Yeah, go.
I have a question. So is it, I guess, do you see like the potential to get more leads through posting on LinkedIn or through adding contacts and sending them personal messages? You know, like even if you don't know these contacts, like it's through someone else that you know, second party, like leads can come about like via post or via sending them, you know, a message and trying to connect with them.
Partially both. Posting obviously lets you hit broader to people that you may not remember that are paying attention, but you just don't realize. So that's always helpful for kind of broader marketing. What you're talking about is more direct targeting, which is good. The only issue is if they don't know you, then it's a little strange, right? It kind of seems like an unsolicited kind of ping, right? So my suggestion would be, it's certainly good to develop relationships and all that, but don't have an agenda if you're going to do it that way. Just go, hey, you know, I noticed you and I are connected to Bob, and so I just want to get to know you since it seems like you're in a field I'm really interested in. I mean, just don't really have an agenda, right? Just try to build a relationship in a different way rather than just go, hey, let's say you're connected to Bob. You want to buy a house? You know, that might be a little bit too much there, right? So I would say maybe start with your first connections and just kind of touch people that you actually do know rather than worry about the people you don't know. That's kind of my advice.
No, that makes good sense. I only asked because I went through another seminar and they said to send messages to like second, third connections, connect with them and send them messages. And I'm like, that's like a car salesman, or like, you know, like you said, it's unsolicited. It's not asked. Like, you know, they see you, they know you're a realtor. So I just wanted your advice and I guess how you work and how you go about it. And that sounds good. It makes sense. Yeah,
I think sometimes all these classes you guys take or we all take, people are all about, oh yeah, let's lead gen, right? Numbers game. I think they forget that we're all human beings on the other side and receiving these messages, and you know, most of us aren't dumb. We know what these are about, right? So I mean, if we feel like there's some weird agenda, then we just kind of go, not interested, right? And then our shields up, right? Our shields go up, and you don't want that, right? You want it to be natural, a flow of relationship.
Agreed, completely. Thank you.
Yeah, I might equate it to dating, right? So, I mean, not that I know much about that anymore, but I mean, if you're going to be at a bar meeting somebody and then, you know, right away it's like, hey, you know, can we go out? Let's go to dinner. And it's like, hey, hold on a second. Like, can I even just, can it be a little more natural, right?
Yeah.
Can we just, talk about the game? Can we, what are you drinking? And just like have no agenda, it gets less creepy that way. So.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Perfect. Let me get my screen swapped here.
I've been attacked by some company that been, cold calling me for refinance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so annoying. So annoying. They call me every day at the same time. And I don't know how many times I politely asked to be removed. Yeah. So every time I'm, thinking about like cold calling, I think about how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely better to spend your time on building with warm relationships than it is cold. And Anna, you know what? If they keep calling you, you should start tracking it. And if you're on the do not call list, just keep tracking at this point. And then, after about 5 violations, you can report them, and you might even be able to get a little bit of money on them. That might teach them a lesson. It's not about the money. It's just,
I may tell them next time I'm going to report you, and maybe that will stop them.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a company that does that to me. And they just don't get it. They just keep calling clients. You guys.
Yeah. So on LinkedIn, what I do when I connect with my like second or third connection, I just, congratulate them with their job anniversary when LinkedIn like reminds me, but I just make that message more personal. And that's it pretty much. That's how I start.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually say thank you, or, then some people will start some, more like a little more than just thank you. And then it can engage in conversation.
Absolutely. All right, let's get started. We're at 1:05. Everyone go ahead and mute. And we are going to jump into our course today. Let me see if that share went through here. Share screen, PowerPoint. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get started. Hello, everyone. I'm Alan Wang. For those of you that don't know me, this is a class on LinkedIn and leveraging LinkedIn. This was me actually on the LinkedIn campus meeting up with one of my clients. So I thought it was kind of a cool picture to put there. Let's get started. Why is this class important? I think a lot of people, I know a lot of you are very active on Facebook. A lot of you are very active on Instagram. For those of you that are younger, like my daughter, maybe you're on TikTok or YouTube. That's great. But a lot of folks, they neglect LinkedIn, which I think is interesting because as I told some folks in the hallway this week or last week, we had a dinner for MCA and a lunch. And I said, you guys aren't on here. And I'm like the only real estate voice on here. And so who are they going to listen to, right? Who's the expert? So some great jewels that I'll tell you after I've taught this class. I was at an Evergreen marketing meeting. There was someone who logged in and they go, I haven't logged in a while. And then boom, there was a lead waiting for them, asking them a real estate question right after the class. Another agent at our office had actually created a LinkedIn profile, uploaded their contacts, and then reached out, say, oh, I didn't even know you were a realtor, and started to refer business. I mean, that's how powerful this class can be for all of you. And after an agent on my team, actually, they created a LinkedIn profile after the class and actually got a recommendation from one of their clients immediately. So again, it's a powerful platform and I'll tell you why. For those of you that don't know me, I think most of you know me, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but everything can be found on my LinkedIn profile. Just click this link here. It's on all of my signatures. You can always learn about somebody, but obviously, actually, I just passed my 18-year anniversary in real estate, believe that or not. And I've opened the Keller in Santa Clara Valley office, which a lot of you here are on here. Thank you so much for coming. But what makes me unique about why, Alan, are you qualified to teach this class is because I used to work at LinkedIn. Beyond that, though, beyond working at LinkedIn, I was a huge fan of this company way before I worked there. I was, I think, member 32,000 on LinkedIn. A big believer in LinkedIn, and I'll explain to you more why. One of the big reasons why social media marketing, I think you all know this, but LinkedIn, Friendster, MySpace, Facebook, they're all built on this concept of we are 6 degrees separation. Remember my mom and dad used to say, it's a very small world. Well, this is what they meant. Everyone knows everybody. My dad always said, Alan, it's a small world, be a good person. And I know why now, because everybody knows everybody. And you'll know that, right? It's just, we're about 6 degrees separated from each other in one way, shape, or form. And so when you do something good, a lot of folks know. When you do something bad, it kind of travels really fast too, right? A lot of people know each other. And that's the whole concept of social media. And by the way, if you're wondering why my voice is a little scratchy, I've been cheering for my daughter at her volleyball tournament for 3 days. And so it's my voice is gone. Well, let's talk about your database, your community. There are different ways to market to your database. And when I say database, my business is a referral business. So I don't do a lot of door knocking, cold calling, or things like that. I focus on my core, which is my database, my community of people that I know. That's how I do business. Now, again, I think most of you do it this way too, or are trying to do it that way. And I personally love it because it's the best way to get business. Hot, warm clients that love you, know you, care for you, want to see you do well, trust you. These are the easiest folks to get business from. And if you do a good job, you'll get even more business from them. It's just like a restaurant. If you feed the first 100, 500 people and they all love your food and they can't stop raving about it, then you get 500,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then everyone talks about your restaurant. And that's what you want with your business. Now, a lot of us have an email database. I will tell you that, as you all know, I mean, my email is constantly behind. We all get too much email, right? And that's just the fact of the matter. So the open rate on a MailChimp campaign on average is about 21.66. So if you're emailing 100 people, barely 21 people are opening your email. So if you're counting on email to reach people, it's not, I mean, we get so much spam, it's ridiculous. I mean, I could barely keep up with my work mail. So I'm not looking at my Gmail or my Yahoo. I'm just not. I barely can keep up. So if this is your only strategy, it's not going to work. This is not enough. You're only reaching 21 people out of 100 that you ping. And that's if they even care, right? They might just open it and delete it. Another one, as I mentioned, Facebook, Instagram, that's also a big deal. I'll talk to you a little bit more about how you act differently on there. And you might have some niche socials. You might be really good on YouTube or on TikTok or some other Vine or some other a tool that you're good at. That's awesome. That's another way to reach people. And then LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is more of a business network. Think of it as you're going to work. It's business casual, but business, right? It's not, You go on Facebook, Instagram, you can be in your shorts and your t-shirt, no big deal. You go on LinkedIn, it's professional, 100%. Why does this all matter? Why am I talking about this? A lot of folks out especially here in the tech industry, even if someone refers you, okay, yeah, I trust my friend, but I'm still going to verify online this person that you're sending me. It's so easy now. You just go to Google and you type somebody's name and you see what comes up. And so that's what people do. The CEO of LinkedIn, former CEO of LinkedIn used to say, trust is consistency over time, right? Just because you do one great thing doesn't mean anything, right? You want to be consistent as to what you do, and your online marketing message needs to show consistency. If you just show, oh my gosh, look, I sold this $1 $5 million home once, 3 years last year, and there's no other activity about you, it doesn't tell me that you're very busy. Like, okay, great, you sold $1 $5 million home, but you don't look very busy. It's not good, right? I want somebody who's actually busy out there doing things constantly. 90% of buyers actually look at, you guys all know this, look at homes online in the home search, but they're looking you up as well. They're trying to gauge what's your experience, what's your knowledge, what's your background. A office manager once told me a long time ago, if you're busy, you must be good. That's interesting, right? Perception is reality, right? And the flip side is even scarier. If you're not busy, you must be awful. So, right, just how are people perceiving you? Trust factor, right? What are you all about? What do you stand for? You'd be surprised what people can find just by looking up a Google image of you. And remember, Google pulls from everywhere. Right? I mean, you see the party goers that are, constantly traveling and drinking booze on the beach, and you're going, oh, that's my realtor, right? That's not my realtor. Then you see the family, people that, this family person, great. Or you see somebody extremely professional, awesome, right? And some are not, right? Some are just, So remember, your life is on display on Google, and they grab it from everywhere, and they'll find you. Go do an image search after this and see what shows up, and see if you like what you see, if you were a customer looking to hire you. Yeah, big question is, what is my marketing plan? I consider the LinkedIn to be a part of this puzzle. You might write a blog, you have Facebook, you have a newsletter, maybe you use Pinterest, maybe you use Twitter, but LinkedIn is yet another piece of this puzzle that needs to be filled in. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you are wondering, oh, how come folks aren't calling me, or how come that person that I knew went with another agent? Here's the thing. The time that folks are actually thinking about doing something before calling you is quite a long time, actually. They're actually spending about 11 weeks. We live in a society where everyone has an app to do something. They're looking up, okay, they're researching, they're Googling, they're reading articles, they're looking at their apps, they're exploring neighborhoods on their own. And so they're kind of already doing a lot of homework already. And then okay, I want to talk to an agent. And they'll talk to an agent, it takes another 10 weeks or so, to find the house. So during this time, though, they are exploring, and they're exploring agents. They're asking their friends and their family about agents. They're looking at the postcards coming in their house. They're Googling and looking at online ratings, and they're actually hunting for an agent. So by the time they come to you and meet you for your consultation, it's already 11 weeks have passed. And so you won't even know why you didn't get that initial consultation. And a lot of it's because of your online presence. Question Myrna asked earlier, what is the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook, and how do you act? Well, again, LinkedIn is for a professional. It's completely professional. Imagine you coming in to work with your suit on, your best dressed outfit. Business casual might be okay, but be careful. I always say suit and tie or suit because that puts me in the mentality as I'm going to work. I'm being professional. I don't ever use foul language at work. I do not speak unprofessionally at work. I keep it very professional in the work environment. And that's how you should act on LinkedIn. All the content there is professional. Facebook, very different. Facebook, these are your friends, your family. Think of it as you got your shirt, your shorts, your t-shirt, your summer dress on, and people go to Facebook to relax. Right? They want to hear about your family. They want to hear, well, most people do. A little contentious these days with the politics going on, but what is going on Facebook, what people do want to see is they want to go there to relax, right? That's at night, all the kids are down for bed. They scroll through Facebook, see how your kids are doing. see what you're up to, look at the food you're cooking, and just relax, right? It's completely, just relax. And so on Facebook, you want to be very genuine. You want to be authentic. You want to be a family person. You want to be somebody with a lot of interests outside of just work. If you're a hiker or a cyclist, you're passionate about a nonprofit. You want to be an authentic human being that people like. That's what you want to be on Facebook. Now, again, I'm not telling you to be somebody you're not. I'm not saying that at all, because people can sniff out a fake. You don't want to do that. But be your authentic self. Now, be careful. As I mentioned, if your authentic self is you go to the nightclub every night drunk and you're laying on a pillar in the middle of the driveway in the parking lot, making a fool out of yourself, that's a bad idea. You should really not let your friends take pictures of you doing, in compromised situations, because this is your professional brand as well. In a way, indirectly, you have to be very careful about what you're doing. And again, you can decide whether you want to take strong stances or not on certain topics. That's completely up to you. If you stay neutral, you won't damage relationships on either side of different topics. But at the same time, if you're passionate about a topic, you're passionate about a topic. It is who you are. It is what it is. So you have to figure out what identity you want. But be careful. I would say business casual here, or casual, but not overly casual, because people will judge you by your Facebook presence, because now this is part of your life. And by how much they like you will determine how much business they give you. And that's really, really important. This is funny. I just found an article that somebody posted. It says, please keep it professional. LinkedIn is not Facebook. Seriously, it's not. It just isn't. And folks need to be careful on that. I've seen people post things on LinkedIn. I'm going, what are you doing? Why are you posting a rap line on LinkedIn? That's completely unprofessional. I mean, LinkedIn, based on my working at LinkedIn, they're very highly educated, high net worth, high income people on LinkedIn. So you're going to find people that are professionals, engineers above, senior managers, directors, CEOs. Those are the kind of people that are on here, and you need to be extremely professional there. I think this guy actually moved on to a different job, so I'm not sure this is completely valid anymore. But yeah, think of LinkedIn as a Microsoft guy, and then this is the former Apple guy, right? This is kind of the way you want to look at it. And we as a realtor, we got to fly in the middle. Right? We're not necessarily always professional, but we need to be at least professional enough to be able to fly between both of these. Here's my little rule of thumb. If a CEO saw my post, would they want to hire me as a real estate agent? If the answer is yes, then post it. If the answer is no, don't post it. Simple as that. Why LinkedIn? For those of you that do not have a LinkedIn profile, you need to get one up today. It is scary when I found somebody not on LinkedIn. I started wondering, wait, does this person even exist? There's a high percentage of folks that are in the US that are on LinkedIn already. I think it's close to 90%. So if you're not on here, it's a little scary. So you need to be on here. There's no harm in posting your professional life on LinkedIn. Everyone does it, and it's safe to do so. LinkedIn's mission is connect the world professional, make them more productive and successful, and then create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. Very honorable mission, which is why everyone's on here, to better their own professional lives. And we should be on here too, along with them, because we also want to do the same, right? We want to be more productive, and we want to connect with the economic opportunity, which are our people. They have over 690 members worldwide. More than 2 members a second are joining. 3.3 billion professionals in the world. Over 169 members in the US alone. So this is a very, very big. Actually, they have even more, 107%, I'm sorry, of the US workforce. So there's probably some duplicates in here perhaps, or some people may have been retired, but that is huge, right? If you're not on LinkedIn, you don't exist. It's scary when I type somebody in here and I can't find them. Here's how the breakdown is, and the United States is definitely a heavy user, so is Europe. Depending on what country you're from, there are a lot of folks that are also on LinkedIn as well from different countries. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to move on from this one here. Hold on a second. There's a video, but I'm just going to move on because we don't have too much time. All right, the number one thing about LinkedIn is your identity. You remember, for those of you that are a little bit older, you remember the resume, right? It was a document that was on your computer, always out of date. Whereas LinkedIn, you're motivated to always keep it up to date because it's online and it's a live document, right? It's a real-time document. So anytime you accomplish something, you put it on your LinkedIn profile, so you never forget all the accomplishments that you make. It's also a business card in its own self. I mean, if you go to a conference, you can fire up LinkedIn and you have a QR code and they can connect with you right away. You don't even need the business card. I mean, I have a drawer full of business cards and it just goes in the trash. If I connect with you immediately on my LinkedIn app, then I have you forever and we're always connected. And I don't need to worry about remembering to go back home and adding your contact into my database. I started using LinkedIn because I got tired of my Rolodex. I got tired of tracking everybody in my Palm Pilot, and then the information would change, and I would lose touch with people. LinkedIn made it so that LinkedIn maintained. I would know that they're going to log into LinkedIn, so it doesn't matter what their email or phone numbers are. I could always message them directly because they're my contact. And so that's what the beauty of the identity is. You also want to connect, find, and be found. This is extremely important. A lot of times I meet a customer and before I'm at Starbucks, I will look them up and I'll see who we have in common. That's very important. If I know there's somebody in common, I can actually try to pull out, I might drop a few names. Hey, how do you know so-and-so? How do you know so-and-so? And then immediately there's trust. Well, hopefully there's a good relationship between them, but and usually there is. So yeah, I don't know. We went to college together. It's an amazing icebreaker, right? To be able to leverage the connections in common. But more importantly, it's all about your profile. So when you have your profile needs to be rich and updated, right? Basically, where are you working? Where have you worked? Where have you gotten your education? If that's a strong point in your profile, your passion, right? Don't be boring. I mean, yes, we can always say realtor at Keller, Keller Valley, which is great. But have a headline that's a little bit more exciting, right? That you want to actually, you're really trying to make it about your passion, not just about your job title, right? People are, especially this new generation, Gen Y, they love folks with passion, right? They actually have passion about what they do, not just about, oh yeah, I'm here to sell the most homes. I mean, nobody cares about that, right? People, why are you really in this business, right? So give me something passionate. Some cool things you can do in your profile are, of course, you can create your own personalized URL. So most of us, I always have a LinkedIn and I have it on after my signature on my email for those of you that have seen it. You can customize it. By default, it comes with some weird numbers and you can actually customize it pretty quickly. Your website, your blog, your phone number, make it easy for people to contact you, your office address, your email, your Twitter handle. You can have a WeChat. I mean, they have all kinds of connectors. People should not have a hard time being able to reach you if they wanted to. And again, keep your profile rich as well. What is it? What Keller Williams? What is your passion? What are you doing? If you want any awards, put them in here. Showcase yourself. Right. This is your resume. This is your marketing yourself. And again, you have to leverage whatever benefits you. If you happen to be in Toastmasters or advisory groups or nonprofits. A lot of you have former lives in tech or some other industry. Highlight that. That's credible, right? If somebody finds that you used to work at Google and they work at Google, they feel better about it, right? Because we know Google hires a lot of the smartest and best people. So if you happen to work there, they automatically give you a check mark like, hey, this person's really good. Right? Education as well. Again, I'm not saying education needs to be everybody's strong suit. I've seen amazing agents, just have a high school degree, no problem at all. So if education is not your forte, don't highlight it. But if it is, and you do have all kinds of degrees in assorted places or certificates, highlight them. I mean, you definitely want to do that. Okay. There's another thing called skills. These are you can add a skill for yourself, and then your network might go and endorse you for those skills. It's something that just kind of organically happens. I used to be a program manager, so a lot of people endorse me for that skill. This is something you could play with, create a skill for yourself, and you can always ask people to endorse you for it if you want. It's a neat little game that they create for you. Recommendations, really important. A lot of people don't understand the power of this. Certainly have folks write you a recommendation or they will do it themselves organically. But again, it just puts more credibility onto your profile. If there's the recommendations and people are seeing that other folks are enjoying your service, that's another social proof that you must be good at what you do. You can showcase other things such as language. A lot of you speak a different language. Amazing. I was definitely put that in here. I have Mandarin, Cantonese, English, and proficient in Spanish. So I put that on my profile. And then any awards that we've won, you should put that in there. If you're part of a team, leverage the team. If you want some individual ones, put them in here. I mean, highlight your success, right? And no one's else going to do it for you but yourself. Certifications. We have a couple as well. For myself, I was a program manager, so I have that. And then this is actually MCNE now. It's a Master Certified Negotiation Expert. So there's different certifications you could highlight as well. For those of you that speak a different language or read and write a different language as well, LinkedIn is in multiple languages. So if you're more comfortable reading and writing in a certain language, you can change the language of LinkedIn to your native language. That's one way. You could also create your profile in another language as well. Well, let's get to the basics here. What is it about social media that makes it so powerful? One thing I'll tell you is that social media is cheap. It doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time and maybe a little bit of creativity. It is the best marketing bang for the buck you're going to get because you don't spend anything other than your time to do that. But as a realtor, your goal is to become top of mind in your network, in your immediate sphere of influence, we call it. And the whole point of this is top of mind means anyone in your network, when they think real estate, they should be thinking about you. Now, for a lot of you, that may not have happened yet. And the reason for that is, some of you don't like to be too noisy on social media. I get it. A lot of us are private, introverted, nothing wrong with that. But you are missing out on a free channel of advertising if you don't leverage this, this network. And so really encourage you to stay top of mind. Number one, if your network doesn't know that you're the realtor, or if you're not the realtor of choice in your network, then you need to put in the effort to figure out how to do that. Because if you're not coming to mind in your network, then there's a problem. Your source of business is not going to be there. So we really, really need to work on that. So the goal of social media, number one, is stay top of mind. How do we do that? The second is to build out your network. So once you let's say you do become top of mind, you post a lot of useful content, people love what they're seeing, then you got to expand, right? You got to expand your network. Well, for those of you that are new, you might need to start building it first. For those of you that kind of saturated your network, you always need to go and meet more people. Real estate is a contact sport, right? Real estate is a people business. If you don't like people, wrong business. You need to keep meeting and building and meeting new people. That is the goal that's the name of the game. So I give a couple examples, right? You want to go quality over quantity. Now this is an In-N-Out burger, just a simple, single In-N-Out burger. This is, I don't know what this is, probably a 30 by 30, pretty disgusting. Although I've had 10 by 10, that's my max that my wife told me to stop. But in LinkedIn, you don't want, there's some people you meet, they call themselves lions, LinkedIn online networker, 10,000 connections. They connect with anybody and everybody. You don't want to be that because I'll tell you why, but you want quality over quantity, because what happens is when you add everybody in the world, your feed gets really messy and you can't keep up with all the garbage because there's people you don't know showing up on your feed that you don't care about, but you're connected to them. So it's taking up real estate on your news feed. So you can't keep in touch with these people because it's a mess. What you want are quality connections, people that you actually know, hopefully, or you plan to do business with. And that's usually the rule of thumb is people I know, I work with, or I plan to do business with. Those are the people that are going to be my connection, right? Quality over quantity. Well, Alan, I don't know anybody. Who do I connect with? That's not true at all. You have to know somebody. Of course, your customers, your family, your friends, your professors in school, your old classmates from elementary, middle, high school, college, connect with them. These are all connections. Current and past coworkers, I would just be careful with the, especially past coworkers. You need to do that. If you're working a full-time job right now and you're a part-time agent, you want to be careful with the current coworkers because some companies don't like you working two jobs, so just be careful there. But definitely your past coworkers, you want to get them added on. Business partners. This is one that a lot of people don't think about. Think about how much business you give your dentist, your financial planner, your lawyer, your CPA, your friend that owns a restaurant. You need to connect with those folks. I've bought and sold maybe 2 or 3 houses for my dentist. I've known him since I was 5 years old. I mean, you never think that your dentist is going to give you business, right? but they do. My financial planner has given me quite a bit of business, and I've given him a lot of business. I've given both of them a lot of business. And so, it's a win-win, right? We help each other. I have a niche with new home sales, construction people that I've known over the years, and all these new home builders. One of the listings I have is referred by one of them lately as well. And so there's nobody that you can't add here. That business comes from everywhere, and so you need to make sure that don't forget your vendors. You give them a lot of business, they should give you some business sometimes. So keep that in mind. Now, LinkedIn does try to help you get going. Of course, this is kind of once you click the My Network, sometimes people will just be inviting you here. I don't know some of these people, so I don't necessarily add them. And lately, a lot of ads for me, but there's an engine here called People You May Know. And this is a scary engine, actually. It finds people that used to work with you around the same time, or I don't know the algorithm. No, the guy never told me how it worked, but it's called PYMK. And you can spend all day in here if you just got started, and it'll find people that you forgot about over the years, and you could just magically just start clicking on. But I've talked to this guy since high school, or this person since middle school. It does an amazing job of doing that. So you can spend quite a long time on People You May Know. Now, here's a common the realtor use case, which you all have to be careful of. You can connect with a bunch of realtors all around the nation. And it's kind of that corner, oh yeah, I'm going to connect with them because I might get an out-of-state referral. I mean, that's kind of tough, right? I mean, I get calls all the time. Oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm a new agent, out of Washington. And please send me your referrals. And I'm scratching my head. I'm going, okay, if I am going to be giving my customer to somebody in Washington, it's not going to be a brand new agent. It's going to be somebody that actually sells some houses. And so kind of connecting with these random people, I don't know, it may or may not work. I'm not saying don't do it, but there has to be an intention to do some business together. And it is very possible that you connect with them, and because of your posting that you stay top of mind, and eventually they have a customer that is moving to the Bay Area. It's possible, but I find it to be a really corner case. So instead of spending all your time connecting with a bunch of realtors, you really need to focus on connecting with clients. So I actually went through and I deleted a bunch of these folks because I wasn't really ever planning to refer anybody to them. And their stuff was polluting my feed, right? So you have to be judicious. Just don't connect with every realtor that impossible. That's not the right use case. If you get nothing out of this class, connect with your clients and the people you meet. That's number one. Anytime, LinkedIn is not a threatening network, by the way. When I was traveling in Japan, and I can hear the guy speaking English. So there's a group of, I think there's 3 folks that were from the States, you can tell. And so I was chatting them up, and then, they're from, I think they're from the Bay Area as well. And I connected with them on LinkedIn. I said, hey, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Yeah, sure. And so we, did the QR code swap, and we're all good. LinkedIn is not a threatening network. These were females too. They're all females, and I have my kids and my family. There's no threat there. It was just about, if I was a female or a male, it doesn't really matter. I would, if I say, hey, let me connect with you on Facebook, they'd be like, whoa. No, that's a little too personal. That's my personal network. I'm not connecting with you on Facebook. But when I said LinkedIn, there's no problem. And connected. And actually, one of those folks, she pinged me right before COVID, actually, and it was about a different topic. It wasn't even about real estate. She had gotten a job at LinkedIn, and she wanted to see if I could give her some heads up on how to navigate the company. And of course, I told her I was in real estate. She's not quite ready for real estate yet, but again, I planted a seed. I met somebody in Japan, kept in touch somehow through I would wish them different things on congratulations on your work anniversary, promotions, etc. And then suddenly I have a connection that I met, talked to, and of course real estate came up, and I planted a seed for the new person that I met. So this is real estate, folks, right? You got to be on all the time. I was on vacation and I was still connecting with people, and I do that all the time. I was just on a plane this weekend and met the guy who ran all the parks in the city of Mountain View where I live. We talked for an hour and a half, even though I really wanted to just go to bed. Gave him my card, connected with him. I don't think he was on LinkedIn. He's an older gentleman, but at least I did swap information. But that's the business. You're going to be out there. You're going to be meeting people. You never know where it goes. But make sure you connect clients, people, and the people you meet. LinkedIn is not a threatening platform. So, Alan, how do I build this out? So there's different ways to help. If you go to my network, you can actually, on the left here, are ways that you can connect by adding your address books into LinkedIn. Yeah, if you believe it, if you have an AOL account anymore, but you can suck it in from Outlook, from Yahoo, Gmail, and you can bring it in, and it'll connect your email to LinkedIn, and then it'll spawn that people you may know algorithm, go and help you find all the people that you have forgotten about. Now, be careful. LinkedIn does upload it, and then by default, it checks everybody, and it just has you import everybody. Most people just go, yes, go, but you might want to filter the list a little bit. There might be some, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, ex-wives, ex-girlfriends in there that you don't want to connect with. And it could be, that could go pretty bad. So uncheck those folks, that you may not want to be connecting with. Just let you know, LinkedIn wants to grow. So that's why they just default check everybody. But it's a really good way to grow, because once you do that, it'll just automatically generate the invitation almost. Hey, do you want to invite so-and-so, so-and-so? And then the algorithm starts working. So that's a way to grow your network. John Lynch, former Denver Bronco and Hall of Famer for sure. One thing I will tell you is put yourself out there and good things will come. And if I say the opposite, don't put yourself out there and nothing will come. It's kind of what the opposite I'll tell you. And why do I say this? If you don't put yourself out there, nothing good is going to come your way, right? The worst you can do is just put yourself out there and try and see what might come. So John Lynch was, when the 49ers were looking for a general manager, John Lynch had no experience being a general manager, but he had a relationship with Kyle Shanahan, who's our head coach of the 49ers. And so he reached out to Kyle, said, Kyle, I know you got your head coach over there, I've always been interested in becoming GM, general manager. What are your thoughts? And then Kyle immediately said, oh, absolutely. I would love to work with you. Absolutely love to work with you. And boom, there it was. He got hired. Life is about relationships and opportunity. Sometimes getting lucky, being in the right place at the right time. But it also is your action. If you don't put yourself out there, inject yourself into different conversations, and no opportunity ever comes your way. So you have to inject yourself into the conversation. Very important to do. And John is our GM and doing an amazing job today. So really loving that. Make sure you put yourself out there and good things will come. Direct messaging. There was a talk earlier about do I direct message? Absolutely. So LinkedIn is one of my lead generation channels, and I work on LinkedIn, Facebook every day as much as I can. And everybody if they have a promotion, I'm always congratulating them on a new job. Sometimes if I know them well enough, I'll even crack a joke. Hey, congrats on a new job. Is it time to upgrade your house now? I crack that joke because it's true, right? I've had a couple clients that live in a condo in Almaden, and both of them have gotten a couple promotions in the last couple of years. They are probably due to get an upgrade. They're probably going to have a baby soon and all that. I cracked the joke, but it's not a joke. I mean, it's honestly, they probably need a new house. And I just plant the seed in there, right? And then, Alan, of course, we'll call you when that happens. But again, I'm just touching them. I'm reminding them. I'm being playful a little bit at the same time. But I do want them to call me, right, when they are ready. And so there's some people that are funny. I ping them multiple times. And you can see over the years, hey, congratulations on your job anniversary. Congratulations. Or happy birthday, 4 or 5 years. And finally on the 5th year, they respond, hey, thanks, Alan. I was, hey, how you been? Talking. I don't take it personally that they don't respond in 5 years. That's all right. I mean, the goal is I'm touching them, and, not everybody responds, but a lot of people do. So I always make sure that I'm wishing happy birthdays and congratulating folks on their new jobs. It's something that we should always be doing. Networking. I personally hate this word, networking. When I was in MBA school, they always said, hey, let's go to, Berkeley's having a networking event. So what that means is, a bunch of us show up and nobody knows each other. We have our business cards, we hand them to everybody, and everyone throws your business card away and no one gives a care who you were. That's networking, right? I hate this word. So this is my own quote. I'm telling you, why pay for lead generation or network? When you all have a rich network of a personal, professional, and a customer base that could be a source of referrals for a lifetime, right? Why network all the time and try to meet new people? You guys all have people that live around you, that know you, that are at your church, at your gym, at your whatever sports you play, or the hiking group, or There's meetup.com. You can meet up and for anything, any passion, right? You're like Bollywood dancing. You can join a meetup group for that. I mean, instead of networking, I mean, why not go and build like rich personal relationships with people? I think that works a lot better than just networking. Right? So that's kind of my thought on that topic. Now, I do want everybody to raise your right hand right now and take an oath with me. And I'm going to teach you some secrets here, but I don't want anyone to use it for good. So for bad, all right, raise your hand. Say, I swear that I will use this information for good and not for evil. I like you guys to raise your hand on the Zoom. Thank you. Yes, raise it that way. All right, we're not using any of this for evil. And this is a movie I love, Wreck-It Ralph. He's like the evil guy in the video game, but he just wants to be a good guy. So he's tired. And this is like the bad guy group, their little meeting. They don't really want to be bad. So the key to this business is personal relationships. And this is a book from a favorite movie of mine, Jerry Maguire. I'm not going to play the video right now. But yeah, one of my favorite movies is Jerry Maguire. And he was a big time agent, getting a ton of customers, but he felt that the future of his business was personal relationships, not this kind of corporate machine that he was a part of. And which is what I really, really love, is what I think this business should be. And so when you're trying to break the ice, there are ways to do that. And the first way is, of course, I mentioned this earlier, common connections. You can look at a LinkedIn profile and you can size people up pretty quickly. For example, this gentleman, I don't know him, but we already have 160 mutual connections. That is huge. So if I ever did meet this person, we would be talking, and LinkedIn is definitely going to come up. I see Boston University. My wife got her master's degree there. I might talk about that. But definitely common connections. Like this picture here is of a VP now. He was not a VP when I was there. And so I might bring his name up as well. Now 160 is a little obscene because I work at LinkedIn. So a lot of folks, we connect with each other, but most of the time it won't be that way. It would be, 5, 6, or 7, right? But hitting those common connections are important. You could even go extra credit. If you know you're meeting with Ashwin, you should call this guy or ping him on LinkedIn. Hey, so I'm meeting with Ashwin. I'm just curious, how do you know each other? We might be heading into a business venture together. How do you know him? And then he might say, oh yeah, Ashwin, we went to college undergrad together. It's a good friend of mine. I'll make sure to put in a good word for you or something, who knows, right? Whatever the story might be, or you might not, but you can at least go, okay, maybe I can comfortably drop Dan's name because it sounds like, Ashwin and him have a good relationship. So common connections, people like folks that have things in common with them. Have you ever noticed that? If you have kids and they have kids, automatically, the ice is broken. You have common connections, the ice is broken. You worked at the same company, that breaks the ice. I see people with a LinkedIn jacket around, I start talking to them, right? Because that's where I used to work. Alumni, schools. People actually love their schools more than they love their companies, believe it or not. I mean, you guys know, most of you have an alumni plate on your car, right? We love our schools. We love our alma maters. And so if you happen to go to the same school, it's a way to break the ice. This weekend, I was with a bunch of parents of my daughter's volleyball, and one of the ladies, she went to Cal. So immediately, what do I say? Go Bears, right? It's a commonality, right? And people like that. Goes, oh yeah, did you go to Cal too? Okay, cool. And immediately you feel some kind of connection, right? And work as well. Organizations, passions, right? If you happen to be part of the same organization, or you can tell by their profile, they're really into giving and giving back to the community, and you are too, you might be able to work those angles as well. But again, remember, we are using all this for good and not for evil. Nobody on this call should be starting a Ponzi scheme with anything I'm teaching you now, okay? Promise me that. Thank you. Direct communications is, as I mentioned already prior, very effective, especially with people you know. Here's Hilda and I talking years ago. Yay, happy anniversary, hope all is well. Little did I know Hilda and I be actually, working on under the same umbrella, right? And we've kept in touch over the years, and really amazing relationship that we have. So that's been really, really good. Now, engage. How do you engage your network? This is not a feature that's used very much. You have to kind of find There are different groups on LinkedIn that you can join, but a lot of them, some are active, some are not. So you have to kind of figure out which ones are active, and there's a little bit of discussion going on. You can do this on LinkedIn as well, on Facebook as well. But you have to find a group. Alumni groups are good. Sometimes, of companies or schools or whatever you're passionate about, you just got to find one that's active. So you can definitely join a group. That's one way. Reading articles. So most all articles now have these buttons where you can share articles onto LinkedIn. So you just click the button and then boom, it automatically unravels the title and the URL link, and then bam, you can just share it really easily. And so that's another way of just sharing interesting articles that you read, because you guys should be reading articles on real estate, right? All day long, you should be reading about real estate. And if there's something interesting, you should post it. Another thing to do is when you're about to do something, you can always, tell, hey, I'm looking forward to teaching a course to realtors on how to leverage LinkedIn at Santa Clara County Association of Realtors. Even better, visual pictures are better than anything, or videos are even better. So what you can do is actually, really enjoy, teaching a class in my office and have a picture with everyone with you or something. That's powerful, right? That's powerful. And then you could tag other people too. So then it's even broader, of a broader stroke. You reach a bigger network. So you can do that as well. There's a new feature that only works on a mobile. It's called Stories. Now, LinkedIn tends to be a little bit behind on features. I know this has been available on Instagram and Facebook for a long time. But it only works on a mobile, which is kind of weird because I actually would like my admins to post for me, but it's okay. Stories are made for quick things that expire in 24 hours. So if you see something interesting on the real estate side, a beautiful home or a beautiful view, nobody needs to see that tomorrow, but it's kind of cool at the moment, right? Or you're stuck in a big windstorm and you're at your listing, your sign's blowing around. I don't know, something interesting, right? It has to be something that would get people, but they wouldn't care tomorrow, right? It's just something that would get them interested at that moment in time. You would put that there, and actually stories from my LinkedIn colleagues or customers that work in that division, it's actually quite effective. People like, people have short attention spans and they're always just constantly looking for the next story. So they do use this feature a lot. Twitter Sync, for those of you that are on Twitter, again, I haven't had a whole lot of success on Twitter. It's just another channel that I blast out. I'm not a celebrity or some famous athlete, so not necessarily getting that, but I still like to post there. I mean, there's some engagement there. So if you go to settings and privacy, there is a way to connect your Twitter settings right here. So you would click that, and then you can actually add your Twitter account and bind it. And so what you saw me do earlier was, once you bind it, then you can actually share with LinkedIn. When you share, you can share with LinkedIn public and your Twitter account at the same time. I'm all about two birds with one stone. So that's how you do that. Kind of like Instagram, when you do a story, you can share it to your Facebook page. It's the same way. So I always go public and Twitter. Why not? Right? If there's some good content, and just go to both. Multimedia channels. LinkedIn's gotten pretty good at providing links that you can post. You can post articles, that you can write articles. You can post links or multimedia. So you can link to YouTube if you have a good YouTube there. Remember, people are going here and they're looking you up. So you want to make sure that they find rich content about you. So every time you film a professional video, you can actually link it to your profile. Now, all right, so we got to top of mind, right? You're top of mind. Everybody in the network knows you. You're posting. That's why you're top of mind. You're posting either news articles, you're creating some content, and just posting. Now I want to talk about content marketing. We want to get rich now. Now you're fine. You're top of mind, but now you need to become a subject matter expert, right? That's the next step. And so a lot of folks, people still love consuming written articles. Videos are actually probably a lot higher than they are now. But written articles on LinkedIn are definitely really good. Or people like the top 5 things to know about real estate, things like that. That's also good as well. So make sure you engage in that. Now millennials, the Gen Y, which is the generation that's buying houses right now, they prefer influencers. They want to feel that you are the expert, right, when it comes to real estate. So you want to project yourself as, I am the subject matter expert in real estate. That's what you need to do. And you can do that by posts, leadership posts. You can actually write blogs, articles in LinkedIn. So it's really easy. You'll see it when you log in. It's just Click here, start a post, write an article, bam. It's very simple. Put in a picture, put in a title and start writing. Now, again, it's easier said than done. Nothing's more intimidating than a blank page with a blinking cursor, right? But at the same time, I would say, if you're able to articulate yourself in an article, that's very powerful. Become that subject matter expert. Now, again, I'm going to close by saying relationships matter. I think you all know that. They just do. Everything's about relationships, and that is what our business is about. So in summary, I want to say customers are people first, not prospect or leads. Serve them well, and you'll have a pipeline of referrals for a lifetime. Just change that mindset, right? We talk a lot about leads and prospects. These are just people that need help with the biggest purchase or sale of their life. You want to be that person. You want to build your brand, solid profile, accomplishments, achievements, experience. Get recommended and endorsed. You got to engage your network, quality content that hopefully gets the discussion going, updating your network, right, with more people, sharing articles, commenting on other people's stuff, right, being engaged. And then you need to build your network and then keep in touch with your clients. All right, with that, I'm going to close and I'm going to open it up for questions. Let me unshare my screen here. Did I stop sharing? Perfect. Questions?
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming, by the way. Let's see. You can type it in the chat, or if it's not too distracting, you guys can just unmute and talk. Questions?
I got a question. So Alan, so this is Karen. Yeah. When you become a realtor, how do you connect with your past colleagues? So I know you mentioned some of the means, like do you reach out to them, or you just let them know that you're a realtor and let them come back to you?
Well, it's the same thing, right? I mean, well, there's the broad way where you're posting and they see it. I had a LinkedIn colleague of mine, early days LinkedIn. I haven't talked to him in, I don't know how long now, maybe 15 years. He reached out to me to come take a look at his Los Gatos property on Thursday. And I haven't talked to him in forever. So the only way I know that he probably has been watching my stuff that I'm posting. And when he finally wanted to make a move, he called me, right? That's one way. That's more passive. The other way would be just kind of genuinely reaching out to people to see how they're doing. COVID's a good way to do that, right? Because of COVID, you can always reach out and go, hey, I just want to check in on you and your family. Hope everyone's okay. And then naturally, right now, as we're opening back up, I would try to start getting coffee with people again, if they feel comfortable, or if you feel comfortable, and catching up for lunch or coffee and just catch up. But at worst case, just chat with people, check in, see how they're doing, no agenda. My favorite is having coffee and lunch. Then, of course, real estate's going to come up, right? You're going to say, yeah, I switched careers. And I'm in real estate now. If you or any of your friends or family ever have any needs, keep me in mind. Right? And people generally always want to help you. Other than that, I leverage the job promotions, the anniversary job anniversaries, and the birthdays as an excuse to ping people, and then try to get a conversation going. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine, and it's okay.
Yep, gotcha.
Great. Thanks, Karen.
I have a question, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
So once you kind of connect with them, when do you transfer them to your database? Like, when do you make that move?
That's a good question. I see database on multiple fronts. I mean, you guys are probably talking about Keller Williams Command database, where you kind of need an address or a phone number, right?
Yeah.
And so if you know that this person is either going to do something or is a connector who is going to refer you a lot of business, and you want to really focus on them more, then you can put them in command. That way you can remember that you need to touch this person more, right? Otherwise, I see database in multiple fronts. I see command as one database. I see LinkedIn as another database. I see Facebook as another database. I see Instagram as another database. And for example, for me, I cannot take 3,000 people out of LinkedIn and put them into KW command. I don't have all their information. And so what I do is I try to be purposeful about who I have in my database. If they reach out to me for a consultation, then automatically they go into my database, right? I mean, that's obvious, right? If they get a buyer or listing consultation. But if I know these folks are connectors and I know they're about to do something, but it may not be now or 2 or 3 or 4 years later, then I might bring them into my database just so that I can, touch them as well if I have their information. Right? If I have their information, you have to kind of get permission though, right? For example, if you just added their email into your database and they start getting newsletters, well, what the heck? I mean, I didn't ask for this, right? So you kind of have to be careful on that, but you might want to say, I'll think about doing something in the next 2 or 3 years, but not sure. Well, hey, do you mind if I add you to my newsletter just to make sure that, you can get the updates to what's going on? And he goes, oh, okay. Yeah. And then most people go, yeah, sure, of course. Then they're less likely to log out or unsubscribe or find it annoying, right? It's a little touchy there, but you kind of have to read people, right? This EQ, right? If you just add them, they go, I didn't sign up to be on this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Questions? If you're shy, you can put it in the chat. Otherwise, I don't know if maybe I do such a good job. There's no questions. All right. If there are no other questions, I'm going to give you 4 minutes back of your time. Thank you for coming today, everybody. Really, really enjoyed this session. Thank you. Really, really, really happy you guys came and hope you guys get on LinkedIn, do everything I told you to do, and get more business. All right.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks,
Thank
Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank
You're
you, Alan.
welcome. Grace, no.
Thank
Grace,
you.
Yeah, no problem. Grace, you had a question. What's the last number 3 of the slide summary? Let me see here. Here's all the Grace. Here's all the summary page for you.
You.
If you want to grab that. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for your time, Alan.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Diana. It's good to see you. We should catch up, huh?
Yes, we should. I see you still enjoy your milk teas or your green tea.
Yeah. My daughter got this. I like drinking it in the morning, so they buy it for me last night, and I can't sleep. So if I drink it too late, so she kept it in the fridge, and then I drank it this morning.
Awesome. Okay, well, take care, Alan. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Alan.
All right. Bye.
So well balanced. I could go around the curve at 80 miles an hour instead of 50 or 45. I could take the curve at 80 miles an hour. Yeah, that's how people get killed. But I never wrecked a car. When my kids lived in New Jersey, in New York, I lived in Indiana. I would drive across the 7 states all night. And I get a caravan. Actually, a semi across Ohio. We're going over 100 to 110 miles. And I got into a caravan. I had a CB radio. I'm talking to the semi. I got into them. I drove across Ohio in 1 hour, over 100 miles an hour. My car would really run at 80 miles an hour. It felt like we were going 50. It was so smooth. Huh? No. You probably never rode in a car like that. I had spoilers on it, and airfoils. It was very aerodynamic. And I souped it up a little more. And I had a dog like Star who would go and lay in the back end of that car. And I would drive all the way to Connecticut or New York. And the dog would lay there. Till I get there all night, 12 hours or something. 1,600 miles. Then, when I see my kids, the dog would go nuts. He would remember them and go hyper when he sees my kids. Then I'd come back to Indiana. He would lay in the back of the car until I got to the toll booth. He knew we were home. When I get off the toll road, Interstate 80 from here to New York. I drove it at least once a month. I would do it. I was just gonna go see my kids. Look at that. They go around these. Big cars breaking down.